into day 1 and day 2 of BTS's Permission to Dance on Stage LA tour, and I think Jimin noticed me.
Holy shit! Holy shit!
And I think maybe Yoongi noticed me.
Yoongi! Yoongi! Yoongi!
Ooh, how am I live? I'm not sure. Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Landon and we are here again today to discuss my experience going to the PTD On Stage tour here in Los Angeles on day 1 and day 2.
You ready to get that fire?
Today I'm gonna walk through each of the days, give you my experience, what it was like to be in line around ARMY, etc. Also provide extra fan cam footage that are not in the original fan cams.
Trey is not convinced.
No.
Special clips, my explanation of certain clips, literally so lost, I have no idea where to go, SoFi sucks, and so much more. So go grab your favorite BT21 plush, go get you a snack, and buckle up, because it's time to dive in. Day 1, December 27th, 2021. I finally got to see BTS in a full concert. Starting off with getting to the venue. Traffic wasn't too bad. We were able to pull into our parking spot pretty easily. And as soon as we got out, we saw all of the ARMY there, really let it all sink in. And then we were off to figure out how to get into a merch line. So we got there initially at like 3 p.m. to try to be able to get merch and then to get in line smoothly. So after walking around the entire SoFi Stadium, we found the merch line and stood in it. And when I tell y'all, it is the longest line I have ever seen in my life. Is the longest line. You can see in the videos here, it started in the daytime, it ended at the nighttime, and guess what? I didn't even get any merch. By the time I stood in line for probably close to 3-ish hours, I ended up having to get out to go get in line for the actual show, which we'll talk about in a minute, which was very, very unorganized
And anxiety inducing.
But during that time in line, I was able to meet so many amazing markers, members of our Patreon, members of our Discord, and just people that watch my videos on YouTube. So I just want to say thank you to every single person that came up to me, said hello. Please feel free to share your photos with me. I would love to be able to see them. Ended up going to the line around 5:45 maybe to try to get into the stadium because we heard that it was taking pretty long. So I walked over to the entrance, stood there. Here's some video evidence of what it was like. Chaos. So I got there around 5:45, probably a little bit closer to 6, still have an hour and a half for the doors open, and they're taking their sweet little time. We stood there till about 7:10, 7:15, thinking we weren't gonna get in time because they were taking their time. It was so unorganized. There was no way they were gonna get 70,000 people in there, literally. What they did was, around 7:15, these times may be a little off, but around 7:15, they were like, y'all just go in. Hold up your vaccination card and go in. I flashed my vaccination card in front of somebody. I know they didn't read my name, my ID, didn't match it. They literally just let us stampede into the stadium. Day 2 was different. Day 1, if you didn't have a ticket, you could have just got in. I guarantee you that. So SoFi, for this being a revolutionary stadium, y'all should have got your shit together. It was actually a horrible mess. Literally so lost. I have no idea where to go. SoFi sucks, has no signs or anything. They just let us all in without checking our IDs and stuff, so I'm going to figure it out. Anyway, let's get back to the good stuff. I got in there, I was seated in section C135, row 4, seat 7. And
Not the best seat in the world, but maybe they'll come in right here.
you're here, lots of empty seats. I literally may not have the best seat. I think I have the very end that you could get. That's the little thing they'll be using, but I'm probably barely gonna see them in that little space right there. It's okay. Something. We got in there. I met an amazing ARMY, Emily on the side of me there. We started talking a little bit. As the show was starting, I was like, this is not going to be a good seat. Like, I felt so bad at the angle. I'm not even going to be able to see the screen. I'm not going to be able to see the front of the choreography. I was starting to feel a little down. Then the show started. There were still some open seats in row 1 of my section. So I saw a friend run over to the front row and sit, and I don't know what took over. I just ran. I ran. So for the entire concert, I actually got to sit in seat 135, row 1, seat 10, and that's the seat you want to be in, okay? You're not gonna get the full experience. You're not gonna get the full choreography, the runway when they're all the way out there, it's a little far away, but the area that I was in, I got to see backstage access. All the background dancers kept running up past me. There was moments where they had to get on the little moving thing to go all the way around during telepathy, and the entrance to that was right by me. Okay, we'll show some clips in a sec. And there were so many moments that when they walked to this side of the stage, I was so close to them. I apologize for all my cursing. I apologize for everything that I say in these videos, but can you blame me? Can you blame me? It was just so magical to see ARMY with all of the purple ARMY bombs. Like when they say that that purple ocean is real, it is real. It's breathtaking. It's so magical in itself, besides the boys even being in the room. Just the power of ARMY. You could just feel all the love in the room. And the show started. I had one more friend come join me on the other side, Haley, and they became my besties for day one. We just screamed and cheered and yelled and everything.
My new friend here. Don't fuck with Yoongi.
So the show starts. BTS arrives with On, and it's so cool to see from the side how On was happening. When they go hide behind the background dancers. I got to see all the background dancers running up in the beginning too. We thought it was maybe the boys. We didn't know. But it was just so amazing to see them so close. And this is one of the moments that I think Yoongi might have noticed me. Let's run the clip back again. I don't know. You tell me. I know he probably had something in his in-ear and he was like rocking out to like 3, 2, 1, go kind of thing. But I'm counting that as a head nod and acknowledgement of me yelling, Yoongi, which you hear a lot in the videos. By the way, I have literally, I think 12 or so Fancam videos in 4K already on my YouTube channel. I'll put the link here in the card for the playlist, but as I go through each of these sections, if I include clips, I'll also put the cards up here for the full Fancams if you want to go pause and watch those. On has a Fancam. You can watch that there. We went through Fire, which was amazing, literal real fire. I felt it. I felt it. It was hot. It was fire. Well, children name. That's what it was. And then Fire went into Dope, which was amazing. This was all happening on the runway, so kind of far from me, but on day 2, I got a better view of that. I also have a fan cam of DNA, which was an amazing experience as well. To see them all, to see the choreography from the side like that, it was insane. And there were so many moments where they were coming up to my side of the stage, and I was just getting so close to them and just screaming as loud as I could. I know that they probably couldn't hear me because there's so much going on, but you just like to think that maybe, just maybe, they noticed you.
Oh my God, we made it.
Like I said, we were hyping up all the background dancers up at 2. And by the way, I'm not talking about every single song that's happened in both set lists. These are just things that I have footage for. But we went on to Blue and Gray, which was a weird angle for me. They were staring at screens of pre-recorded versions of themselves, but without getting that full experience, I was kind of just seeing them staring at a screen.
Are they looking in mirrors?
I think the recordings are supposed to look like mirrors.
Oh, this ground feels so heavier. I can see by myself.
That's what I mean by the downsides of this seat. You don't get to experience the concert in full, but you get those little special moments. So if you're in that section for Wednesday and Thursday, don't worry, it's better than you think. Then I got to see literally one of my favorite songs. I have like my top 2 BTS songs. Black Swan performed in such an amazing way.
Holy shit. Wow.
Got to hype the background dancers up for that one too, and before Blue and Gray.
These dancers. I love y'all. Good job. Really.
I will talk about that more in day 2 because I got a better view. We transition into Blood, Sweat, and Tears. I am so mad because Jimin over here every single time is like, this is the one you've been waiting for. Yeah. Blood, Sweat, and Tears starts playing. They give me like one verse. They give me one chorus. They give me a little bit of it. I said, but you know this is the one we've been waiting for. Give me the full song. Give me the full song. It's fine. I just wouldn't have been as upset if he would have been like the one everybody's waiting for. It's okay, because then we transition into Fake Love, and there's some special moments. Okay.
Oh my God.
Okay, everybody knows JK had little button problems, but in case you haven't seen one of my videos that's been going viral on Twitter, I happened to capture Jimin over here unbuttoning his shirt. Okay. Army's eating it up. Literally, I think that this clip right here is feeding Army enough to survive till the next show. I realized in the moment what I had captured, as you could hear in the clip, but not to what extent.
I saw it.
And if you slow footage down, thank God I took it in 4K. Everybody record in 4K. Oh, and just real quick, the people that are asking me, I recorded in my iPhone 11, go to your settings, turn your camera settings to 4K, 30 frames per second, and that's what I was doing. Clear video, amazing shots, you won't regret them. Anyway, y'all saw this. Y'all saw this on Twitter probably. Then we had another VCR transition into Life Goes On where they rolled out on a giant bed, and guess what? I got to like be right there. Like they were literally in bed next to me. Do you know what I mean? It literally felt like Bon Voyage season 5, and they were like, hey, we're staying in Los Angeles. Can you help us out? And of course they didn't accept my offer. It's fine, I understand. But after Life Goes On, we transitioned into Boy With Love. When the most magical part of the concert happened to me. So we were just sitting there. Haley on my side had a sign that says Bangtan is back. Emily on the other side of me was like, yeah, dancing. And I was told, I cannot remember by who. I'm so sorry. It was a blur of a day. Somebody had mentioned in a conversation that Jen said, it's hard to see people in the crowd because everybody's just moving so much, army bombs and everything. So Jimin walked over to us. I screamed out, Jimin! And then I stood completely still, just like the emoji, right? And I went like this. As I was like recording like this. And I'm guessing he saw me, the sign, the dancing. I don't know exactly what happened. It was all, I think it was like accumulation of all of us yelling and getting good attention. And he pointed, smiled, and went on with his dance.
Oh my God! Holy shit!
I'm writing that down, Mr. Jimin Park. noticed us. And I watched this video clip probably 3,000 times personally. I couldn't. It literally kept me up till 3 a.m. that morning. I couldn't stop watching it because how the fuck did it happen? What? The Yoongi one before, I didn't really notice it until somebody pointed it out on Twitter and YouTube. But then I knew this one from day. Like, you can hear me in the camera. But we had so many more amazing interactions during Boy With Love. Hobie came up and did a close-up dance. JK had a little moment around us. It was just all so overwhelming to be able to see everything so close that I've been listening to for years now. We then transfer over to Dynamite, and I had this little JK clip that kind of went viral on Twitter too, where he just casually walked up and casually did a little dancey dance and casually did his little turn away like a JK fashion. Perfect. Wild. They went into Butter after that, walked out to the runway, so I didn't really get to see that too much. But we'll talk about Butter Day 2 in a bit with Meg time. Oh my god, Megan came. Anyway, the next little section here is one that I posted a full fan cam of. It's like a 7-minute long 4K fan cam of Airplane Part 2. Bepse. Disease. And a part of Telepathy when they were getting on the little moving thing. Why can't I never think of the name of it? The moving apparatus that goes around the entire arena.
Oh my god! Oh my god! Hey! Hobie! June! Holy shit! June! Hey! June!
This was another moment where I was so incredibly close to the boys. I can't even explain to you what it felt like. It just felt like it really wasn't real. I could have personally probably reached out, leaned over the edge, and high-fived Namjoon at one point, and that's the shit you only could dream about, you know? I will say this, when they did that little thing and were going around, whenever it was time for Yoongi to come back, I was like anticipating. I was like, okay, Yoongi's gonna come back on this side, coming back on this side, let's go. And he didn't even look at me. He didn't even friggin' look at me, but it's okay, because in day 2, when I was on the floor, I got a little bit closer to him on the little moving thing. We'll show you that in a second as well. So in this one, they weren't off the cart by the time Stay came on. So they started Stay on there, then transitioned into So What on the runway area 2. The boys were playing with confetti, with smoke machines, which was the funniest thing to watch. The first thing I was like, I thought they were just picking the smoke machines off the ground and playing with them. I was like, this is so dangerous. Day 2, I noticed they were like leaf blower looking things. So it was, I think, meant to be played with. Who knows? With them. So what happens? We did a lot more talking to the crowd. The boys' English was so good. Yoongi is really the one and only time on day 1 that really talked in Korean. I actually was sitting right next to the translator. So here's a video of how close I was to the translator. Yoongi was the only time that he had to walk up. The entire concert was at the end. But anyway, after doing a little bit more talking, they went into friggin' I Need You. Are you kidding? Are you kidding? I need you, girl. I was like, dead. That transitioned into Save Me, which is one of my favorite songs to watch, especially for choreography, and I got to see it live from the side, like a whole new dance practice angle. I wish I had nails so you could hear him clacking. That's all I'm gonna say. Then Idol came in. We had a moment too where we were hyping up the background dancers. We knew they were coming for the end, and I did my best to give them as much energy as I gave to the boys because they deserved it just as much. Idol was amazing. They went into We Are Bulletproof, the eternal, emotional, you know, really get me. The boys didn't cry night one, and I guess that led to me not really crying either night one. Night two, I got a little bit more emotional because of some of the things they were saying we'll talk about, but night one, pretty much kept it together. I was still in freaking shock. Then went on to answer Love Myself, such a freaking surprise. Didn't expect that, but literally, my heart. Everybody was so excited. We got to watch all of their end mints as well, which was so beautiful to hear them just saying how much they missed ARMY and how excited they were to be here. That truly meant so much to me.
This time, let's go opposite from this side.
I know, I couldn't see where he was
You
pointing.
can do it better, right?
Yeah. Give us another chance, dude.
3, 2, 1.
And then they got to do their goodbyes from the stage. And I had this moment where Jimin ran over and jumped up too. Everybody came and waved. And I was just doing my best to get noticed a little bit. I was wearing a cute little green fluffy jacket that hopefully stood out a little bit, but who really knows if they saw me or not. But that essentially was day one. I hope I did a good job of explaining it as a whole because it was a shit show for pretty much the majority of the day until the second the boys stepped on stage and I forgot everything. If I did miss anything else, I'll add it in as I'm editing the video, but essentially that was day one. Now, day two, Sunday, November 28th, 2021, it was time to go back to SoFi. So the first night I didn't fall asleep till like 3 something. We were gonna go try to do early for merch again. I was just so traumatized by that experience. I think that we were just like, no. I just know the day that they did the merch, I didn't go, but I saw people were waiting 8 to 9 hours for the merch. And you know, honestly, maybe if the merch was like at a discounted price and stuff, maybe I'll go try, but I couldn't bring myself to wait for that long. I was like, I want it so bad, but my body can't handle that. I'm getting old, y'all. So day 2 came around, but came a little bit later. Luckily, things were smoother. We initially got there and they were like, hey, now you have to get in the vaccination line. Make it all the way to the tent, get a wristband to let them know that you have a vaccination card, then go get to the back of the original line to get into the gate, which we were like, oh, at least we got here early. Let's just do it. Waited in the vaccine line for an hour, maybe hour and a half. We're probably about 20 people from reaching the front of the line. We see everybody in the back of the line just start running to the main gate line. We're like, interesting. So I went up and asked security guard and I was like, hey, do I even need this wristband anymore? As I'm saying that, he's scanning somebody else's card that doesn't have a wristband on. And he was like, I don't know. And I was like, well, you just answered my question, so thank you. And ran back, and then I'm pretty much the whole line dispersed from that tent. Anyway, when get in line, which the first time I was going in the stands, which was like a crazy line as y'all saw in the videos. The second night I was on the floor, and it was a very interesting experience because number one, the line was, no one was there. They had all the little zigzags still set up that you had to walk through, probably 15 of them to get there. So everybody was getting dizzy and almost vomiting just walking through that. I did a little sped up version here. Once I got in, found where I had to go, I didn't realize how far you have to walk to go to the floor. Like you look out in the arena, it's like, oh, it's right there. Let me just go to the floor. No, I had to go down probably 8 levels of ramps, all the way underground. Y'all, it was probably a 10-minute walk just to go through all of these ramps. I was like, I was sweating. I was literally sweating by the time I finished that ramp walk. But it was really cute because they had these signs everywhere of BTS lyrics. So at least you got to like have a little bit of BTS in your life as you were like exercising or whatever. I hate it. But needless to say, made it to our seats, and I got to sit with an amazing person that's been around helping me so much, Sarah. Shout out to Mooney Junie, Moon Chow Sarah, and her amazing friends that made the night amazing as well, Rachel and Ange. It's so fun to just be around ARMY, whether you know them or not. You literally just instantly had that secure connection, you know, that bond. But when you're singing all the songs together, it's emotional. It's an emotional moment. Even though I didn't get to sit with my girl Emily, y'all hear me talking about her all the time on the channel, Emily and Mandy, Emily's friend that flew to LA too. They were my riding buddies, so we drove there together every day, standing in lines and stuff like that. So it was really fun to finally get to meet all these people. Anyway, all right, going back. One side note, Sarah kilted. I probably had my favorite outfit of the entire night. Both nights, she had the jacket from June live performance. Not the jacket, but the robe, man. The leopard robe, Supreme robe. She said, you want a picture in it? I said, yes, I do. So got those pictures. But now let's go through this set list, get some more clips of day 2 as well. The moment that I walked into the floor, it was magical. They were playing BTS music videos and I just had to like literally take it all in. So you can see there in the clip. But once again, they started with On. Fire, we got to see it a little bit closer this time, so it was a lot better. I didn't get to feel the fire, luckily this time. I didn't have to sweat from it, but just like this remix they did to Fire, so good. Transition into Dope. Amazing in our opening speeches as well. I think I got a footage here of RM and Jimin over here.
Wow! Is it sweaty?
Make some noise! BTS is where they pose to me right now. Hello, y'all! BTS!
Then we went to DNA, another amazing moment. Got to see Blue and Gray finally from how we were supposed to see it in the front, and that was definitely great. The sound really wasn't amazing for day 2's Blue and Gray, I won't lie to you, and you can kind of hear me singing over it, so I'm so sorry. But that transitioned into my baby, Black Swan. And I got to see that girl for its full motion. It's full, it's... My favorite moment of the night, I think. You can't explain what it's like to see it in person with all those background dancers and stuff are so on point. Like, they were just so together. It just makes you realize how talented these boys are to be able to pull off all they've done, plus throw something like Black Swan into this thing, you know? Anyway, I once again had the full video Fancam 4K of Black Swan there. I also had it from day 1 too. I put it in the card, so if you saw that. We went into our Blood, Sweat, and Tears and Fake Love again, have some more footage from day 2. Life Goes On. And then Boy With Love came on. One thing I really love about being on the floor is being able to feel the army bombs around you, all the way around you, versus just like in the corner. And during Boy With Love, they did this amazing rainbow one, and it's just always like, Boy With Love, rainbow, you know what I mean? We know your message. We see your message. And then Jimin and Tae talked and trying to get some noise to hyping the crowd up, and this is just, just seeing them talk in English and have so much fun and watching things that would pass Tae's vibe check, etc., you know, we really had to hone it in. We transitioned into Dynamite. And then baby, we had Butter, surprise guest Megan Thee Stallion for the remix performance. Finally, for the first time live. I was supposed to see that at the AMAs. Megan had to cancel, so I'm so glad I still got to catch it at one of my concert dates. We knew it was gonna happen. They had a sound check with Megan, and that was going around Twitter. So when it did happen, I just always love my strong, independent, female main characters like her. You know what I'm saying? That just like steps into the room and owns it. And all of her music has been so good. To see her live, she was vibing, having so much fun. All the boys were eating up all of her interaction moments. And it was just so great to finally see her with the boys. And the boys showing that they know how to pick the right featured guests. All I'm saying. Then we went to Airplane Part 2 again. Bepse from a different angle. Telepathy, and they started moving around, and this is where things got a little wild. So on the floor, the first time the carts start right here in the front of the stage, and they move all the way to the back like this, then they meet, and the boys trade spots. And so then this one comes back around again, and it's the opposite set of boys that makes their way back to the stage, you know? So on the first pass, I noticed that everybody from the floor jumped up and ran to the sides right where they would be passing to get like that great shot of them. And I'm like, I am not that person. I don't break rules. I am not a rule breaker, okay? I play it by the books. Well, they made it to the back here, everybody started transitioning, and as they were coming around the front, I noticed two of the boys that were about to pass by was my biases, Yoonjin, and I was like, you know what? Live a little, bitch. Live life. If they're not getting kicked out, you're not getting kicked out. So I made it there, I ran up against all my normal will, against all my normal brain telling me to stop. I ran and I started screaming, Yoongi, Yoongi. And every time you hear me say Yoongi, just picture that meme with the cat with the cowboy hat on, because that's what I see in my head every time. So, Yoongi. As soon as I started screaming it, Seokjin turned around and said, you mean me? Hello. You know, I was like, sorry, I met you. But it was just so close. I was literally, I mean, if I would have jumped, knocked out probably 3 people, jumped about 10 feet, I would have high-fived him. Like, I could have high-fived him. And I'm not that desperate. But I thought about it. Baby. Moving on, we went into Stay and more smoke machine action, So What, etc. We went into Save Me, and this time we changed it up, baby. Save Me to I'm Fine. I'm feeling just... I love how they changed it up. You did not know what to expect with them. Though sometimes in sound check, you got to see that, but that's fine, whatever. And then we transitioned into Idol. To wrap up this section, I really loved seeing Idol from this angle. The background was so cool. The Photoshop effects and stuff that they were doing was really cool to see. And you could tell they really put so much time and effort into those screen animations to really make them live. And in the moment, ARMY started yelling, we were excited. We knew that they really wasn't over. They tried to lie to us every time, be like, this is our last song. Like liars. I think I yelled that every time. You're lying, whatever. But they came back out and performed Young Forever, which like, yes, 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 we loves. And gave me my real emotional moments. But then Spring Day, and that's the baby I was waiting for. Friggin' Bogo Sheep Da. I missed you and I wanted to see you sing that live, and now I can check it off my bucket list. It happened. It happened. There was also some amazing endment moments here. I captured Hobie.
와서 이 소파이 스테디움을 꽉 채운 우리 아미 여러분들의 함성을 듣고 응원을 듣고 이렇게 공연을 하는 게 정말 제 히스토리에 그리고 제 추억에 너무 큰 부분을 차지할 것 같아요.
Life story, my memory, after 2 years being away in the pandemic and then here coming to LA, SoFi Stadium, seeing all of the ARMY, this is also going to be
RM, JK.
Another great night. Hope you had a great time too.
Jin, Tae. Yoongi. Jimin, like all of them had their moments, and like it was just so sad because I knew that this was the day that was gonna be my actual last one. The first set of endments wasn't so sad, but the second set, they started talking about things like, yesterday we felt so awkward, and they felt like they didn't give their all. There was like mess ups and stuff, and that's what really got to me, is that they felt kind of bad or whatever, that it felt weird to be on stage for them again after 2 years, which like I could definitely understand. Just not going to public for like 2 years, going back to public was crazy. So imagine being with ARMY and stuff, and I know that they did say it was sad to see everybody with masks. They wanted to gauge our excitement and stuff, but hopefully we were able to give them everything through our jumping and our eyes, you know, through our eyes. They ended the night off with Permission to Dance, giant balloons flying everywhere. I tried to catch one, I didn't catch one. And I would have taken it home if I could, but it was just so fun to see ARMY living it up, having the best time of their life, and I was so freaking excited to be a part of that. I can't even put it into words. After Mission to Dance, they wrapped it all up and they went back home. I don't know how they were getting home so fast, because literally by the time we got to our car, like the time I walked to my car, Yoongi was already live pretty much. Like, teleportation. I will never understand it, but yeah, that was my 2 nights. I had amazing seats. The second night I was in section C3, row one seat 30, I believe is what it was, and great seat as well. While being on the side is something that I definitely recommend, I don't know if I would be on the side if I only got the chance to go to one show. Do you know what I mean? I'm so glad I got to capture a lot of moments though, and I still won't get over Jimin and Yoongi. I think they noticed me a little. Are you watching this? If you're watching this, comment down. I won't give away your secret stan Twitter. I promise. I promise. Just let's be friends. But other than that, y'all, that was pretty much my 2 days. I will be posting exclusive fan cams and exclusive clips on my Patreon, everything that I did not use on YouTube and in the main fan cam videos. So if you want any exclusive footage, make sure you're become a patron. I want to say thank you to so much to everybody for all of your support. Like, y'all are the reasons I was able to do this. Some of y'all have been with me since literally day one, where I pressed play on Map of the Soul 7, intro persona came on, and that moment that really solidified it all. Like, we know that Yoongi and Sugar Zenalud is the one that got me there, but we know that Map of the Soul 7 is the one that solidified it. So it really means so much to me that y'all are with me on this journey too. So I just wanted to do all that I could to capture as much as I could for you. Just in case you can't come to the concerts and people that may not be able to make it out here. I really hope that I did a good job. But if you made it this far, you'll get this tip. Turn your army bomb all the way down to connect it. Once it's connected, you have to turn it all the way up. Push the switch all the way back up, and then it'll start lighting up. I thought I had to keep it down, but no, up, up. Okay, another note here, please bring so much more water if you are going for the nights 3 and 4. I went for 2 water bottles the first night, a large water bottle and a small water bottle the second night. It's just a very great moment, but make sure you stay hydrated. Anyway, I hope that this was a great recap for you and you enjoyed my experience. There's still so much more that I probably didn't even get to talk about because so much happened, but I want to say thank you so much to everybody for your support and going here with me. I want to say thank you to everybody that came up to me and said hello. I loved meeting all of you, but I love you. And I want to say one final thank you to BTS for being such an amazing band, creating amazing music, creating amazing moments that outlast time. These songs here are timeless, and the fact that I got to see so many of these title tracks performed live, it solidified everything that I'm in this Bangtan shit for life, okay? But anyway, all right, I'm gonna go because I have to talk forever. I love you guys. If you like this, make sure you click like, comment, and subscribe for even more. I might post some more fan cams too. I still have so much more, so you never know. I love you. I'll be back soon, but until then, bye. Would love to know them by name. So